Welcome back to Instables, everyone. Again, going over our intraday swing and long perspective on exactly where we're headed leading into Powell and our next Fed rate hike on Wednesday. Again, I went over the SPY in the last video if you guys want to see where the S&P may be headed next. But again, as we have our 20-day just looking to see if we can cross above our 50, what exactly will give us that confirmation to continue on higher with this decrease in buy pressure? What exactly are we looking for going into tomorrow? And what should we expect from Powell leading into Wednesday? I'm going to go over all this with you guys. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you are a day trader, if you're looking for very volatile breakouts, pre-market news before market open every single day that you want to be watching, we mentioned that in the Instables room every single day. Go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today. Again, let's jump into this one. So jumping into the daily chart with you guys here on the Qs, jumping right into our intraday momentum here. As you guys can see, our structure is simply on a rejection from our prior sell-off that we had again when CPI came out. Again, this is exactly the day before that Powell spoke, mentioning that unemployment wasn't exactly as high as we did need. So again, we had that rejection. We came up, we tested, we did not close our body here above our prior rejection. We actually broke higher here, but we did not hold, as you guys can see, with the wick to the upside, clearly getting that rejection on a retest here with our 20-day crossing above our 50 now. On the SPY, we actually are completely crossing. So again, what we're looking for here is to see if we do continue on back lower for that possible retest and that possible continuation on higher. Again, that continuation on higher will be predicated on if Powell agrees with the market that we're having possible soft landing to come, since we have been having decreases in CPI, or if he thinks that the market is not pricing in what it needs to and that there's a lot worse to come, like a lot of people have been predicting, then we will know exactly what happens with our possible bullish candle structure here. So again, if we do get a bullish Powell, again, a very dovish Powell, then we could have that possible engulfing candle respecting our 20-day to the upside, and we'll be looking for that break possibly above our previous highs here at 296. Again, our prior rejection, looking to see if we can close above it. That will give us that possible continuation, in my opinion, and that possible room to run to 300 easily here, in my opinion. So again, looking for that possible continuation if that does happen. But again, leading into Powell, in my opinion, looking for that retest as our 20-day is finally just crossing above our 50. We definitely need to retest to see if we are going to continue on higher. As you guys can see, typically when we do have our 20-day crossing above our 50, we pull back, we do have that retest, and then we have that possible continuation. As you guys can see here, very similar here, 20-day crossing above our 50, we come back down, have a retest. Since our 20-day finally did cross above our 50, we need to show that bulls are strong enough to continue on higher here. So again, in my opinion, we will see exactly what Powell mentions. We will get a possible indecisive candle going into tomorrow, possible pullback. Maybe we get a possible gap down going into tomorrow from our prior gap up. But in my opinion, we are definitely cautious to the upside until we do see what Powell mentions on Wednesday. And as far as to the downside, I know that there's some room to run to the downside as our 20-day is crossing above our 50, but there's not quite as much room as I would want on a great setup here. So again, sure, we're bearish, just like we had a major sell-off today from our rejection that we had. However, again, making sure that we're cautious either way here, in my opinion, since we have confirmation that we're looking for here overall. Now, looking at our swing perspective, looking at our weekly chart, as you guys can see, finally closing above our 50 weekly moving average here on the Qs. We are looking for our 20 weekly moving average to start to curl up here, to finally cross above our 50 weekly moving average. We are not late here. We want that confirmation. Again, we want that possible engulfing candle to close here. Again, we are on the weekly chart. So again, this is the beginning of the week here on our first day of this move. Again, on a pullback, but this candle overall, if Powell is dovish, will turn into that possible engulfing candle. And we do want to see, in my opinion, our 20 weekly moving average crossing above our 50 weekly moving average if we're going to be shifting in momentum. As you guys can see, again, just like I mentioned on the SPY, we have been selling off throughout the duration of our 20 weekly moving average crossing below our 50. So until we do get our 20 weekly moving average crossing above our 50 weekly moving average, we are not completely confident on swings to the upside. And what I mean by swings is a few weeks out, months out. That's what I mean by swings. As far as longs, what I mean by longs is about 6 to 2 years out. So again, from our long perspective, we are looking for that possible engulfing candle to close here on the week if we are going to be respecting our 50 weekly moving average. But ultimately, just like on the daily chart, we want to see our 20 weekly moving average cross above to show that we are going to continue here. And then we will be looking for that long perspective. I do like that we have our EMA lines finally crossing above and breaking into higher highs here. So again, we're looking to see if we do get our EMA lines on our weekly moving average, finally cross above the median MACD. As you guys can see here, actually on the SPY, on our weekly moving average, we actually are crossing above here. So again, we're looking to see if we do continue on with this momentum on the Qs to show that we can continue on with strength. That's why I like to look at the Qs and the SPY so you guys can see exactly what momentum is playing against each other versus playing with each other. Now jumping over to the monthly chart, looking at our long perspective here on the Qs here, as you guys can see, we are sitting on an engulfing candle to the downside, rejecting our 50 monthly moving average currently as our 20 monthly moving average curls down here for a possible cross back lower for that possible overall bearish momentum. So again, we are sitting on a spike here, making sure that we do not possibly get a major sell-off on a continuation from this engulfing candle that we had from the prior 2 months that we just had here. So again, keeping that in mind, we are making sure that this candle closes on the month within our prior bodies for that possible bullish momentum leading into the next month. Again, we are lagging here on the Qs in my opinion. As you guys can see on the SPY monthly chart, we are above our 50 monthly moving average. So again, the SPY is ahead of the Qs. If we do start to get any bearish momentum here on the SPY on our monthly chart, then in my opinion, we could continue on even further with the Qs. Keeping that in mind, we do like our decreases in sell pressure. We still have our EMA lines crossing lower here. But as you guys can see here over on the Qs, we are dropping below the medium MACD. That could be that major sell-off situation that we do not want to be in the middle of. So again, making sure that we get confirmation on our weekly chart to continue on higher and making sure that we at least close above our 50 monthly moving average, in my opinion, for longs on the Qs is going to be extremely key. We have tech earnings this week. We have Snapchat earnings tomorrow after market close. We have Amazon, Apple, multiple tech earnings this week, and we very much are testing for that possible, which would be an outlook, in my opinion, on a possible major sell-off if tech happens to have very bad earnings, which again is expected after Snap's last earnings mentioning that they will possibly fire half of their employees. So we'll see exactly what happens this week. Again, this is going to be a crazy week, but again, looking at this month's close, as far as longs go, will be exactly what you're looking for. Now, to recap on the daily chart, as you guys can see, again, closing on the upper end of our channel is what we do like here. We do want to see that confirmation, again, with our 20-day crossing of over 50. That would be a textbook breakout if that does happen. Again, what I mean by that candle structure is a possible retest, a possible engulfing candle to continue on higher here, and to show that continuation on that strength, in my opinion, will be predicated on what Powell says. But again, if we do continue on higher, in my opinion, past 300, then we could possibly retest our prior high here at 309, get a possible retest from 309 to 300, and then look for that continuation on our prior gap down here, which would be, again, more room to run to the upside than, in my opinion, than we have from here. Again, a nice gap up point that we have here from 310 to 318 if we do continue on higher. So we'll be looking out for these possible gap ups if Powell does come in hawkish on Wednesday. We'll see exactly what he mentions if we have possible soft landing to come, or if he thinks the market is not pricing in what it needs to. But again, as we sit on our descending wedge here on the daily chart, we'll see exactly what he mentions. If we get that confirmation, we will know exactly when, as always, here on the channel. Now, again, with that said, again, if you are a day trader, if you're looking for very volatile breakouts, we mention them every single day in the Instabills room. Any breakout that is worth looking at throughout the day, any pre-market news that you want to be watching before the market opens for only $15 a month, go to instabills.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today. Again, all of you Instabills, again, continue to take what the market gives us. Very nice breakouts today. Like I mentioned in the last video, just taking what the market gives us, staying blessed is what we'll continue to do. We'll see what Powell mentions. If he does become very hawkish here, this is going to be pretty, honestly, easy plays to the downside, in my opinion, if we happen to have a very big bearish move. We will see exactly what happens, and we will definitely continue to take these confirmations. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.